Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So let's properly explore the Crimson Forest.
The haunted Crimson Forest.
Ooh. Yeah, that's basically it.
Does this one also have poison in the dungeon?
And nothing's happening.
Well, looks like something made by the Eastern tribe. I guess it wouldn't respond to us since we don't know any spirit magic. So come back with a player who does know spirit magic, I presume.
I guess so.
Not too smart, eh?
Alright. Alright. More bugs.
Adorable.
You know what? Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Let's run. Basically, the turn-tail skill...
Fuck this.
The turn-tail skill... the turn-tail skill is a guaranteed run. An instantaneous one. Like so.
Huh. A skill literally to guarantee being able to escape.
That's because, Joe, but this game is still operating on the old PS1 SNES era of running, where you hold the shoulder buttons and the characters start running, and you have to wait till the game decides if you can run or not, right? Because it takes a while, because the game is calculating factors before you can run. Turntail is basically an instant runaway button, basically.
It was introduced with Final Fantasy IX as one of the main skills from Zidane, which kind of makes sense, him being a thief and all.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
A couple of different games will try to put in a trade as in it guarantees your escape, but you lose a couple of gil in the process.
I'm guessing the idea is supposed to be that, we keep the spirit, but this would be a guaranteed way to escape anytime whatsoever. Which, I guess some would argue, why not just make it that you can escape every time, but I don't know, maybe it had something to do with how they coded the game.
Well,
So it's done in a way so you don't abuse, and escape every single time, and get away with it. Usually, for example, tends to have an MP cost, so either you cannot spam it, or you're forced to use one of your ethers, as a result. And that's because, again, being an RPG and all, the game still incentivizes you to fight in order to actually, gain experience for your levels and abilities.
That makes sense.
basically, yeah.
Pedro,
Yes. Go ahead.
on an average, how would you say the game speed of battles is in this? Like, would you say it's on par with something like 10 or 9 or 7 or 6?
I'll argue it's about on the same level as something what we saw in Blue Dragon, basically. Again, typical to... Okay, let me put it this way. The animations are quick enough, so it's not like you're waiting a long time or anything like that. So again, it's straightforward. Like, it's not like super lightning fast like in Persona 5 or something like that, but it's like it has just the right amount of speed so that the characters don't act like they're Sonic the Hedgehog, but at the same time they're not super slow like in Final Fantasy IX's PAL version.
Yeah, like, I love Final Fantasy IX, but man, am I happy I had the NA version, which mind you, the NA version was slow enough as is. It's a great game, but it's definitely a case where its age was holding it back, which is why the re-release that has the cheats that lets you speed up stuff.
Speed up
It was also with the loading times, because again, the entire thing about the challenge about getting the Excalibur 2, hold on.
It's Max.
Alright, go ahead, Luis.
Slipped.
Voiced.
Oh, sorry.
Kid's not
Yeah,
too
it's
smart
voiced.
after all.
Well, geez, that's some way to talk about your brother.
Let's go.
Okay then.
The entire challenge of getting the Excalibur 2 basically relies on speedrunning the game, and unfortunately with the loading times between the areas, and especially between loading pre-battle, it may take a very long time to actually get there, and as a result in the PAL version you're easily much more screwed up. So again,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The speed up function actually is more welcome because it doesn't literally break the game, but instead it makes it easier for you to handle it.
Not to mention the remaster allows you to skip the FMVs, like normally, like if you press start, there's a prompt to skip the FMVs and everything, which is a godsend because in the original version, you had to open up the disc tray to force the game to skip the FMV.
And since it's toward the tail end of the PS1 era, the FMV, some of the SMVs can actually go for quite a while, and there are plenty actually.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say this, Final Fantasy IX is gorgeous. It definitely benefited from being one of the swan song titles of the PlayStation 1, but man, did that cause things to chug a lot.
The game was
also,
clearly made.
It's more about the speed. When it came to the actual gameplay system, almost everything else is technically fine, but because of a combination of presentation, and performance, it tends to be very slow. Yes.
Oh no, definitely. Well, with the recent with the current version available, like it's much easier to do things. All those problems have been basically ironed out.
It was also having a couple of stylistic decisions. You know how I find it weird that in 8 they removed the MP and instead used the magic as a quantifiable resource that you had to use for the junction system and everything. While not as prevalent in 9, stuff like that, they did one particular thing that I noticed. They removed multi-hit attacks. Every single of your attacks deals exactly only one hit. And as a result, but to be fair, the enemy HP are balanced in to compensate. The highest amount that I think there are like 60,000, which is from the super boss. But because of that, still, you have a lot of animations of all cool attacks and everything, and they still did one 99.999 damage, at most, which is kind of a disappointment, admittedly.
Yeah. That's the other thing as well. The battle animations for the Eidolons in 9 could go, especially the later ones, could get really long, and like in 7 and 8, you can't skip them.
There's also a slight, gamble system because the Eidolons have 2 different battle animation, the complete one and the shorter one. And I don't think actually there's a way to manipulate which one you get. So at random you might get the longer one.
Yeah, like I'm pretty confident it's nigh impossible to get Excalibur 2 in the PAL version of the game because, my god. Go on.
I will say this also, call it a hot take if you will, but I nicknamed doing an Excalibur run as essentially the no fun allowed run.
Oh no! See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Excalibur 2, Jova. What is even the point of this? By the time I get to it,
bragging rights.
But that's the thing. I guess if people care, I guess. But aside from that, like, by the time you get to the Excalibur 2, the game is almost over. Yes, I guess you can bring it up to fight the super bosses, I guess, but the Ragnarok is also very capable, so it's not like
And that's also for a character you might not even bring, because one of the cool things about 9 is that almost every single one of your party member is very useful. So while Steiner with Excalibur 2 might be very powerful, you might not even need him, because everyone else has something to contribute.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where the Excalibur 2, I understand that you want to put in some super duper awesome challenge so that people can brag about it if they do it. I understand, but
I just want to know.
Let me put it this way. You know what would have fixed this? If Final Fantasy IX had a New Game Plus mode. If Final Fantasy IX had a New Game Plus mode, that would make the Excalibur 2 challenge much more motivating because now if I do it, I can bring it into my New Game Plus and I can beat the shit out of everybody with it.
And don't tell me you couldn't do it because Chrono Trigger did it on the Super Nintendo.
Exactly.
Look, I just want to know whose dumb idea was it to choose of all games to put essentially an invisible time limit challenge on arguably the slowest game at the time. And again, not that it was bad, but because it was so heavy with production values.
Who's cook? I forgot.
Something just closed.
Yes.
That will be the door.
What the heck was that? The door just closed by itself. Is this some sort of that spirit magic stuff?
It's just literally a ghost haunting your asses.
Your arm.
But yeah, no, seriously.
Alright, hold on. Let me explain the gimmick of this dungeon.
It's Sam Fortress, okay. Yeah, got it.
Just
Explanation
everybody.
needed.
But yeah, no, I mean, seriously though, of all the Final Fantasy games to have an invisible time limit, 9 had to be quite possibly the worst game to finish
it's not so much as a time limit, it's more so that it's like, oh, you have to do this under this amount of time. The thing is, Jova,
that's what
there's
I mean
actually
by
an
the
easy
invisible
way,
time limit.
believe it or not, Jova, there's actually a very easy way to get Excalibur 2. It's just that you have to be the most patient person in the world to do so. Because the way the clock works in Final Fantasy 9, Jova, is it goes up to 99, I think it's like 99, no, not 99 hours, I think like... It's
something like that. It has a limit where it basically resets.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put it this way, Jova. You go up to 99 hours. Okay. In total, I actually saw recently a video about it. Like it's in total, it's like 2 years and a half or something. 99, 99, 99, 99, something. Right. So basically, Jova, if you allow the timer to go over its maximum of time, it will reset and go back to 0. And after that, you can go back. So basically, Jova, if you get to the end of the game and you're not in time to get the Excalibur 2, it's okay. Just let the game run for 2 years so that the timer can reset. And there you go.
Somebody actually tested that out.
Yes. Well, you can easily test that out by just using Game G.
Their builds must have been atrocious.
Or Libs, you can use Game Shark to activate the max time cheat and just have the clock go back to 0, basically.
You know, again, I always wonder, like, obviously we have guides, but sometimes I have to wonder, people who, you know, just find the stuff out on themselves, how?
Also,
How
Jova,
do they
don't
find
count it too much because the Final Fantasy IX Ultimania guide is infamous for not telling you everything that there is in the game.
Oh, trust me, Jova.
Yeah.
Trust me, Jova. When it comes to those kinds, I should rephrase this because I'm not trying to be derogative. Like, when it comes to those kinds of badass people that do that kind of stuff, Jova, to me, there's one person that reigns above all, and that's someone whose internet name is hard to pronounce. Let me just see if I can try and get it. The guy who beat Phantasmagoria 2 Pumpkinhead's Revenge. Pumpkinhead, Bloodwings Pumpkinhead 2. The point is the second Pumpkinhead game, and it's an adaptation of the second movie, technically, right? Because that game, Jova, is quite possibly one of the most obscure, quite possibly the most obscure, nonsensical game ever made. To the point where nobody knew nobody knew anything about this game. There was literally no resource, even as far back as 2009 when Spoonie made his original video that brought attention to it, there was literally nothing on the internet about it. Even, think about this, Jova, a game so obtuse that even the internet couldn't come up with some kind of way to create some kind of database for us to know how to beat it. Just think about that for a moment. Wow. That being said, Joe, there was one guy on YouTube who made a playthrough where he's, doing the game. He's explaining things. He's explaining you what items to use, where to go, what to do. And Spoonie was, as he said in his commentary of the redo he did with Lord Cat, he said he's watching that playthrough and he's like blown away by this. Like this is some feat of cosmic intelligence that nobody else could have made. Imagine this, Jova, a game so obtuse that even the internet allowed it to just die and not try to decipher it and complete it.
Wait, how long did it go uncompleted?
Well, it came out in the 90s, so let me see.
And it was so bad that okay, granted, internet wasn't as prominent, so maybe somebody did complete it but just never posted about it online, but...
It is possible, Joe, but you know what they say, footage or it didn't happen.
Yeah, and again, the fact that apparently it wasn't posted about for... Okay, how long until,
here's the thing, Joe, but the thing you have to understand about this game is that it's an obscure game that's an adaptation of an obscure B horror movie franchise that not a lot of people even know, because it's a very niche. Even within the horror genre, which is already niche of its own, even within that genre, it's niche, even by those standards. So that game, the only people who even knew about it were Pumpkinhead fans, which is the franchise that game comes from. That's the basic gist of it. Alright, so let me just quickly explain the gimmick of this dungeon. Basically, you have to push this giant rock into the giant hole. And that somehow... Sorry, not into the hole, into the elevator. And that somehow will cause another elevator to come down. Don't ask me how this works. It just does.
Six.
Okay, let me explain something, by the way. The pushing mechanics in this game are terrible. For the way it works is you have to hold the button and then you use the left analog stick to change direction or roll, like it says right there in the bottom right screen, right? The thing is, a lot of times you'll be pushing, but the cam will not push because you're not at the specific angle that the game wants you to. So it can be way more frustrating than it has to be. I appreciate the idea of trying to give this dungeon a unique gimmick, but man, this section is annoying. Go on.
So it's equivalent to the ball puzzle in Sonic 06.
Well, at least the ball puzzle has an exploit that as I demonstrated in our playthrough. This doesn't have any such exploit. You have to do it the hard way.
But yeah, no, like again, it's always incredible when you find the people who originally managed to like make a guide of incredibly obscure stuff that you have to wonder how they figured out without a guide of their own.
Yes.
Commitment, basically, Jova. Again, it's mostly out of the desire of, being the first who discovers that and them being helpful to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
True. Kudos to whoever found out the secret behind the dream ship in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Jova, I think the World of Warcraft South Park episode put it best. Whoever this person is, ladies and gentlemen, they have been playing World of Warcraft for every hour of every day. Gentlemen, we are definitely dealing with someone who has absolutely no life. And the other guy goes, "How do you kill that which has no life?"
Alright. Oh, do you have to get it completely in the center?
Yes, because of course I do.
That should count.
Game?
Oh my god, really?
Man, so other than
There you go,
that,
yeah, you have to get out. And don't ask me how the hell that works. It just does.
Magic.
Whoop.
Don't you mean magic energy?
Wait. Where'd the boulder go afterwards? Like,
It disappeared into the ether, Jova. No, please, don't flash me! Leave this place at once, if thy life is dear to thee. Fury shall befall those who defile this holy shrine. Can I be any more generic than this?
guys, there's a message. It says, if you're here, you're already dead.
If you arrived here alive, but that means you're already dead or something like that.
That doesn't make any sense, Uwe.
can't that just be one of those ancient signs that just says piss off?
Not just that. I love how... Yeah.
Well, you see, Dwibs, they try to be polite with their warnings on turning back.
Yeah, but no one pays attention to polite warnings. So.
That felt like... that sign feels like it came straight out of Light Crusader. Darkness lives in darkness lives in the hearts of men, which summons evil demons.
Okay.
You know, that's the interesting thing. This is technically an Answer the Riddle dungeon, but the riddle sucks.
I mean, the riddles in like Crusader weren't exactly the best either.
No, actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Dwebs. Like, one of the best things about Crusader, if you ask me, is the puzzle design. The puzzle design is very classic Zelda-esque, and it's very good, actually.
I'm not saying they're bad. They're just really rudimentary.
Well,
You see,
for the time, I will argue there's some really clever ones and unique ones, honestly. But go on.
You see, that's what this party of heroes needs, though. A young, strapping chap like Sir David who literally just faces everything with a chipper attitude. If Light Crusader is anything to go off of.
What's the matter, David? Everybody's celebrating. Aren't you going to join in? And then David's like, "Oh, no good at goodbyes." And then the guy goes like, "I hope we can have another wonderful adventure someday." Wonderful adventure? What are you talking about? You've been kidnapped. You've been tortured. You've had your king and queen and princess kidnapped. What? Like, is this your definition of a quote unquote wonderful adventure?
But we had so much fun and made friends along the way.
That's like something you'd hear from Roger Van der Wit's parody of Sora in the Kingdom Hearts series. Let's follow him, wee adventure. But
You know, okay, like no joke though. How would Sir David handle the events of this game, I wonder?
he would probably go, "Duh, I don't want to end up like Kime would be, brooding about how being immortal sucks, and David would be like, what a story, Kime. I sure don't want to end up like you.
The perfect buddy cop duo.
Can his marriage be saved?
It never had a chance to begin with. That's the basic gist of it. But no, this is a riddle dungeon, and the riddles fucking suck. Sorry. Like, I love this game, but this is definitely one of the low points in my opinion. The dungeon, I appreciate the attempt at trying to make this dungeon unique. But you need, like, when level 5 puts puzzles in the dungeons, it's fine because they're level 5. For reasons that are obvious, they're expert at puzzle design, obviously, right? But I can definitely tell that Field Plus, the developers of the game, are not exactly great at this.
I don't want to act like all haunted dungeons are bad, but I do notice that a lot of them do tend to be some of the more draggy ones for some reason.
It's not so much that it's draggy, it's more so the controls. The controls of pushing that goddamn rock are terrible. Like, no matter how many times I see it, it doesn't get any less silly. It's just,
Well, I mean,
hey!
Time's immortal anyway, so who cares?
yeah.
Hey, Kime, being immortal is great. You can basically become a Looney Tin with those boulders.
Oh, both my legs are broken.
No, actually, his legs cannot be broken, that's the thing.
I got better.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I know, like, immortal-wise, he's like, he can't die, but...
Well, okay. Theo can probably explain this better, but since his body is indestructible, that means that his bones cannot break, right?
Well, not in a sense. He can regenerate wounds, but he can still be injured in that kind of way. It's just that he cannot be hurt permanently, that kind of way. Remember what happened at the beginning. There's the whole magical discharge that coats the entire battlefield in lava, and then Kime wakes up later. That doesn't mean that, he wasn't, that he was completely unscathed by the battle, but he regenerated those wounds, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
kind of like...
It's like in Captain Scarlet, where they're basically breaking free from the control of the Mysterons. Still enabled him to have the indestructibility factor with the sole exception, where if he gets killed by high voltage electricity, he's permanently dead.
All right, go ahead.
Specific, but okay. No good. Push, pull, it isn't budging.
There aren't any switches or anything to move the door either. Now what?
We can just bust through this door somehow then. Wouldn't that work?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the Dweb solution.
Jansen, a rock-solid door like this?
But-
How?
So we just need a way. Oh, I know this one. Let's use your head.
But I don't want to use my
No, guys.
Ow!
Guys, the solution is obvious. We need to apologize to the door and then it'll open for us.
Well, if you...
I love that outtake in Toy Story.
Also,
Yeah, me
So
too.
they did that.
Yeah, me
It
too.
used to- oh, yeah. I don't want to use my heavy crash into it.
Yeah, same.
wow, what jerks. They try to obscure your way. They don't even fight you, it's just...
That's their job, Jova. That's what they do.
Based on what we saw that happens with those rocks, you can probably guess how we're going to open that door. Basically, if you allow these to attack you, it'll start the battle. So there you go.
How nice of them not to attack you if you avoid their hits.
Well, remember, like it's pure video gamey logic. Like they have to they have to leave an open period so you can safely cross through, or otherwise it would be unfair.
I do find it interesting though that these are encounters that are on the map that you can avoid, but other ones are still random encounters.
Yeah, and that's
because those are counted as particular special enemies. It's kind of like the possessed doors in one dungeon of Amanda before.
I still have to wonder the mentality from going from Blue Dragon's Chrono Trigger style to going back to the random encounters. It just feels like a step behind to me because even by this point RPGs were starting to really abandon this mechanic.
Like heck, we're to a point now where even Pokemon kind of did away with the random encounters.
Well, yeah, in you mean in Legend of Arceus, right?
And I think also in like Gen 8, where now there's Pokemon on the overfield and you can choose which one to go
okay,
after.
That would be Gen 9, Droga.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Sword and Shield, you have enemies in like on the overworld, like on the open area that you can see, right? But on the dungeons, it's still random battles, right?
Yeah, it's Gen 9, but there's everyone popping up on the field map.
I guess a better way to put it is like Generation 8 was like, you know, the transitional phase, but Gen 9 is where it's like fully like that.
It surely did help, with the frame rate.
It says something that even Dragon Quest got to it before Pokemon did.
God, yeah.
Because remember, remember, it was level 5. It was not Yu-Gi-Oh necessarily that pushed for that to finally happen. It was Hino with Dragon Quest 9. So,
which makes me wonder: did they get rid of like did they get rid of like random encounters in the Yokai Watch games and replace those with something more? Because that ran.
Oh no! Well, not really. No, remember, Yokai Watch's encounters work just like in the anime. Like you get out your watch and you search for yokai where they are, right?
Well, you get what I mean, though. I mean, the ones that showed up were still random. Like, what I mean is, like, did they replace that with a system where you see the yokai?
No. Like, okay. Granted, it's been a while since I played the first game, but now, like, the later ones, like, whatever yokais you get depends on which area you're at. Again, just like in Pokemon, right? But the way you actually encountered and start a battle with them, like, you won't get into any battles unless you bust out your Yokai Watch. Again, just like in the anime, right? So no, there's no randomness about it. You have to actually go out of your way to fight yokai in that. So, all right, everybody, tune in for the next part where we find Mack and finish the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.